Hi, Holly here from the South Texas Skillet, and today we're going to make roast chicken. This is going to be perfect for your Sunday dinner, and we're going to pair it with some creamy mashed potatoes and roasted carrots. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with the chicken since it takes the longest to cook. This has been cleaned and all of the insides were taken out. I actually cooked those down for our dogs. You can see it in my pan right over here. The dogs love it, by the way. I did dry it out with paper towels on the outside and on the inside. So we're going to set this aside. And we're going to work on our seasonings first. So just simple seasonings. And if you notice, I use a lot of the same things for a lot of my meats. It just makes life so much easier. We'll start with some salt. Probably about 2 teaspoons. Guys, you know I don't measure them, so I'm just guessing as to how much they are. That's pepper, about a teaspoon. We're going to use some garlic powder. And some onion powder. About a tablespoon of both. Gotta get that out of my face. I have to edit that part out. We're gonna use a little bit of cayenne, and I just realized I grabbed the wrong thing. Let me grab the right thing. Hey, sir, turn that down. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. And we're gonna use some paprika. And some cayenne. Use as much cayenne or as little cayenne as you want. It's going to be just fine. That was probably half a teaspoon, I'm guessing. All right, so we're going to mix this up and we'll set this aside while we get our vegetables done. I'm trying to get everything prepped before I touch the chicken. That way, once my hands are dirty, I can get everything done and then I can wash my hands afterwards. So we're gonna get everything prepped so I don't contaminate any of my spices. So now we're gonna go ahead and work on our vegetables. I have 2 celeries. I'm going to just cut the bottoms and the tops off. And then I'm just gonna cut them into chunks. And that's all I'm doing with it. Now I have an onion. Okay, and I am not dicing this up. I'm just going to cut it into quarters. I guess it's more like 8ths. Okay. And then we have some garlic here. This is 4 small cloves. All I'm doing is peeling them. This really is a simple recipe. Takes no time to get started. It just takes some time to cook in the oven, and it always comes out great. I've brined my chicken before. That makes it even better. I forgot to do that today, but I think next time I make this, I'll show you how to do an easy brine. It makes the chicken come out so juicy and so flavorful. And it really is worth it if you remember to do it. But that does add an extra step and a few extra hours. You can always do it the night before. But like I said, I just forgot. That's okay. It's still going to come out fine. Alright, so I have my vegetables prepped. I'm going to move them aside. And I have my seasoning done. And I do have some butter here. This is about 6 tablespoons of butter I just chopped into pats. I'm going to use this on the inside of the chicken and underneath the skin, and it makes it so nice and flavorful. All right, so we'll start with that first. I like to take the butter, especially the ones going under the skin, and just dip it in the seasoning. So we're about to touch the chicken. Once I touch the chicken, I'm going to be touching everything here. So once I'm done with this, I won't be able to use it any longer. And that includes the seasoning. All right. So what I'm going to do is make little holes under the skin at the breast area. And then I'm going to take this pat of chicken that I have covered in seasoning, and I'm just going to shove it in there as far as I can get it. I'm going to do 2 on each side. So this butter helps the skin kind of crisp up a little bit, and it adds just a nice flavor to the meat. Okay, and then I'm going to save these last 3. I'm going to use them on top once I'm done. I'm going to take my seasoning and sprinkle it all over the chicken on the outside and on the inside. There should be enough seasoning here to cover the whole bird. You want to make sure you're getting all of the breast area and the legs and the wings, so you'll have to move the chicken around to do it. I do try to pat this into place. Some of it's going to fall off, and that's okay. All right, so my hands are contaminated. It's okay though, because we should be using all of this seasoning, and if not, oh well. You want to make sure you're getting underneath the wing, all of the areas, all of the skin should be covered. You can get the back. There is seasoning down on the bottom of the pan now, so the back is going to be sitting on that. And it is a little wet from just whatever had leaked out of the chicken, just from sitting here. It's normal. All right, we'll do this side. And we'll try to get the back. Okay. Get this leg really well. All right, now the rest of it, I'm just going to put inside the cavity. All right, now we're going to start stuffing our chicken with the vegetables. Start with my garlic. I'll do some of the onion, some of the celery, and we'll just rotate. That's okay. All right. If not all of your vegetables can fit in, it's okay to place them around your chicken. Some of my onions need to go around. All right, so then all we're going to do is take this butter, we're going to put it on top of the chicken. Okay, now it's going to go into an oven. You kind of want to cook this a little bit slower than like normal. You would do 350. I'm going to knock it down to 325. It'll take longer to cook, but that slow roast is going to be better for the chicken. It's going to come out even more tender and it's not going to dry it out. All right, so you're going to take some carrots, and these have been washed and peeled, and we're just going to cut off the tips and the tops of them. I don't have my compost over here, so I'm going to set those aside. All right, then you're going to do like we did the other day, where you take the carrots and you chunk them into pieces. It's going to make it a lot easier to work with. I like to do it in thirds. That way you can control how thick you want your pieces to be. Some of them I might do in half, and that's going to be fine. Okay, so the thinner pieces, you're just going to cut straight down the middle, and then they should be good to go. All right, and if the pieces are a little bit thicker, go ahead and cut those in half as well. So for the thicker ends, you're going to cut it in half. Be very careful when you do that, and then cut those halves in half. And if they seem like they're too big, you can just keep cutting them down. You want all the pieces to be about the same size. And just be very careful, because the carrots tend to roll on you when you're cutting them. I like to take my other hand and just guide it down, and that way I can make sure all of my fingers are out of the way. All right, all we're going to do to this is some olive oil, some salt, and just a little bit of pepper. You don't need a lot of pepper. If you put too much, carrots tend to get hot really quick. I'm not sure why. So I don't add a whole lot of pepper to it. So that's all we're going to do. All right, we're going to give this a good mix. Make sure that salt and pepper and the olive oil is evenly spread over all of the carrots. You don't want too much in one spot. And normally I cook this on a cookie sheet, but I wanted to use my smaller oven since we have the chicken going in the bigger oven and they need to go at 2 different temps. So I'm going to use this pan instead. All right, so once it's nice and mixed, all you do is spread it in whatever you're going to cook it in. Make sure you get all of that good olive oil mixed in. Spread it out. And then we're gonna bake this at 375 until there's a little bit of a char on some of them. You can mix it halfway through if you want to. It's probably gonna take, I'd say for these carrots, about 30 minutes or so. All right, so it's been about an hour for the chicken. We're gonna go ahead and get our carrots on and our potatoes cooking. So I'm gonna bring a large pot of salted water to a boil and then add in our diced potatoes, and then we'll mash them up once they're done. So the carrots are done. I'm still waiting on the chicken, and the potatoes are almost done boiling, so I thought I'd make us some biscuits. So I wanted to show you Brenda Gantt's cookbook. She does sell these. If you go to her Facebook page, I'll link it. She has a website for her cookbooks. And in her very first cookbook is her recipe for her buttermilk biscuits. And she even has pictures to walk you through it step by step. I do recommend this cookbook. It's one of my favorites. She has 3 of them. I have all 3 and they're all quite amazing. All right, so we're gonna work on the dough, and this flour is the same flour that we used yesterday. You can feel that there's a little bit of stuff in there from our biscuits. Then all you do is sift it out and it's gonna be just fine. All right, so all you do is take your flour and put it in your sifter. You're gonna sift out any hard pieces that were left over. And like I said, the more you use this flour, the better. It will not go bad on you. All right, once you sift it, you're going to be left with whatever little pieces were in there, and that's fine. All right, so all we're going to do now is make our bird's nest. I didn't add any more flour to this bowl, just left what was in there. If you're getting close to the bottom or the edges, then you will need to add some more. All right. So we're going to take our Crisco, and again, it's 2 chicken eggs worth of Crisco is what she says. It's really hard to measure that, and you're not going to mess it up. So if you have too much fat, it's going to be just fine. If you have a lot of buttermilk, it's going to be just fine. There's no way to really mess it up. All right, then you're going to add your buttermilk straight into the bird's nest. All right, since I have a hand with Crisco on it already, I'm going to take some and just wipe it on our pan. You want to use your flat cast iron skillet for this. I call it a comal, or it's called a griddle. Okay, perfect. You want to get it nice and coated. And then all you're going to do is take your hand and mix up those little balls of Crisco. Now break them apart in the buttermilk. Once you get them broken apart, you're going to start adding in your flour. And it really does not take a long time to do. All right, they're already in small pieces, so I'm just going to start adding in my flour around the edges. Again, you try not to let the buttermilk go over the top of your bird's nest or touch the bowl on the bottom. Once it touches the bowl, then it kind of messes up and you'll have to clean your bowl. But if you do it this way, then your flour stays dry. And everything's perfect. We're just bringing in some flour from the edges, and then we start lifting it from one side to the other. While you do this, you're picking up some of the flour from the bottom and from the edges. And you're going to notice your dough gets thicker and thicker as you do this. If you feel any large pieces of Crisco, just try to break them up as you go. I haven't made these biscuits in so long that when I made them last night with our chicken pot pie, my husband said he missed them. So I'm going to go ahead and make some for our dinner tonight. All right, you can see our dough's getting thicker and thicker. We're almost there. Just adding in some more of that flour. Okay. When you're at about this consistency where you think you can pick it up, it's time to clean off your hands. Make sure you get all of this wiped off, and then I'm going to go rinse my hands real quick under warm water, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm going to move my bowl out of the way real quick, but I'm taking some of this flour and just coating my surface. And you can put quite a bit of flour out right now because our dough is still pretty wet. All right, then I want to get our hands nice and floured. You're going to go pick up your dough. It's still pretty wet. We're going to have to do a lot of kneading to get it to the right consistency, but it's okay. It'll be just fine. You do want to try to make sure you get all of these pieces of dough out of your flour bowl. Okay, so now our dough is out. It's very floured. We're just going to mix it together. And again, this is self-rising flour. It's the White Lily brand. You can use any brand that you want to. Any brand that you have access to is just fine. We're just trying to get it mixed to where it's we're able to handle it. It does not have to be a stiff dough. Once it's getting close to being where you need it to be, you want to stop kneading it. And we're just about there. Okay. And you can see it was pretty sticky this time. Again, it's going to be just fine. All right, I am going to clean off my hands one more time, just so I can cover them in flour and it's going to be less sticky to me. And it's going to be making, it's going to make picking up the biscuits a lot easier. All right, I just want to flour my hands one more time. Now we're going to push down our dough. You want it to be about 1/2 inch thick. Take your biscuit cutter, dip it in your flour, get it nice and coated, and just start cutting out your biscuits. Now, Brenda Gantt did say that you don't have to go buy a biscuit cutter if you don't have one. She used a can of, it was like a tomato sauce or a pizza sauce can. That's what she used. So the bottom of my dough is still pretty sticky, so some of it's sticking to the bottom. Still gonna be fine. Don't worry, guys, it's gonna all come out. Cooking really is not that hard. You just learn from your mistakes. All right. Whatever dough we have left over, we're going to reform it and make more biscuits. So the thing with biscuits is you really don't want to over knead them. If you do, you make them really, really tough. That's why mine are so sticky, because I was trying not to knead them too much. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna reform it. Now, my hands are sticky again, but that's okay, we're just gonna go with it. Get some more flour, there we go. We're gonna have some dough left over. Again, just feed that to your dogs if you wanted to. Ours love it. So I'll make them their own little pan and I'll feed them. That's a weird biscuit, that's okay. All right, we'll do these for the doggos. This last little one doesn't want to stick. There we go. All right, so when you cook these biscuits, you want them to be so close together in the pan, so that way when they rise up and they don't spread out. And you want to have your oven set to 500 or as high as you can get it. The higher the temperature, the better. They're not going to take long to cook at all. Maybe 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. Once they start to turn golden brown, then pull them out. You can top them with some melted butter and they're going to be just great. Don't put them down on the bottom rack. So right now our chicken is in the oven. I'll have to wait until the chicken is done and then pop these in. If I put it on the bottom rack, it's going to burn really bad on the bottom. Okay, so remember, 500 degrees Fahrenheit is what you have to cook them at for about 5 minutes. All right, so our potatoes are done. I'm just going to add in some butter, probably about half a stick. And then I'm going to add in some salt and some pepper. Potatoes do need a lot of salt, so we'll taste this in a little bit to see if we need more. Okay, salt and pepper, and we're going to add in some garlic. All right, and then we'll do some sour cream. All right, and we're going to add in some heavy cream. You can also just add in milk. I had heavy cream that I needed to use. All right, we'll see what we have. We're going to just mash it all up. So our potatoes are done. It was quick and easy. There's not much to it. Super simple. So our biscuits are just about done. I have some melted butter. I'm going to brush the tops of them. Then we'll put them in for a couple more minutes. They've only been in there for about maybe 8 minutes or so. Not very long. The butter is going to give them a nice flavor. It's going to be delicious. So everything is done. Our chicken is done and it's been resting. I am going to make a gravy to go over that and the mashed potatoes. So all I'm doing is melting a quarter cup of butter. So it's half a stick. And then to that, I'm going to add in a quarter cup of flour. I'm just going to mix this together and let it cook. While I do that, I am going to remove the chicken from the pan and set it on a platter real quick. That way I can easily pour in the juices from the chicken into our gravy. So I'm going to remove my chicken. I just have 2 forks and I'm going to put one here and one here. Pick the chicken up. Some of it might try to fall off, and that's okay. Let's see. All right, we're going to set this on the platter. I'm going to move this over, and then my husband can carve it. All right, so our flour is still cooking. We want it to cook for at least a minute. That way it gets all the flour taste out. Our biscuits are done. All right, there's our biscuits. They're nice and golden brown on top. I'm just going to set them here. I have biscuits over here that have already finished for the dogs. They do like them. I did not put butter on their biscuits. All right, so for this part, I am turning the heat off. I'm going to give this one more stir. And I'm going to put the sieve right on top of my bowl. And I'm going to take all the juices from my pan. And we're going to add them right in. And that's going to catch all of the vegetables and everything else that we don't want in our gravy. I'll take this out, give this another stir. And normally when you're adding liquids to your gravy, you want to go slow, but because those liquids were still hot, it's not going to cause it to clump up like cold milk or cold broth will. So you just want to incorporate this. It's getting nice and thick. All right. And to that, we're going to add some chicken broth. We're going to do this slowly until we get the consistency that we want for a gravy. And when you're making gravy, you actually want to go a little bit thinner than what you want the actual gravy to be, because as it's sitting, it's going to thicken up. Okay, and I'm sorry, I do not know how much broth that was or how much drippings. It's really just going to depend on the size chicken you have, how much drippings it rendered, and how much broth you're going to need to add to it. It's never going to be the same measurements twice. All right. So right now it's pretty thin still. I am going to let it simmer for a bit. I will taste it and see if it needs more salt or pepper or any other seasonings. But those drippings should have all the seasonings from the chicken in it. So it shouldn't need more than salt or pepper. All right, so I tasted this and it tastes amazing. I am just going to add a little bit more pepper to it. Not much though. And then we'll let it simmer until it thickens. So let me turn it back on. And we'll let it simmer for another couple minutes or so, and it'll be ready and dinner will be served. All right, so everything is done. We have our chicken. I have part of the chicken breast. We have our roast carrots, our mashed potatoes, and our biscuit. So let's go ahead and cut into our chicken. And I did put gravy on the chicken and the mashed potatoes. So let's give it a try. And that is so tender. I really didn't even need a knife. I could cut that with my fork. That is good. All right, we'll try the carrots. Those are good. They're nice and sweet. A little bit of spice. That pepper really brings out a spice on those carrots. So when you make them, make sure you don't add a whole lot of pepper to them. And then of course our mashed potatoes with gravy. And that is good. And we have our biscuits, and our biscuits are nice. They're warm. They actually just came out of the oven. I'm gonna break it apart for you so you can see. It's nice and fluffy on the inside. And I did brush it with melted butter. It's salted butter on the top. So it gives it a nice taste. And that is delicious. So this would be the perfect Sunday meal. All you would need to go with it is a nice side salad and a good dessert. If you wanted a nice dessert to go with this, go ahead and click the link here. And if you like this content and you want to see more of it, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. Thank you.